Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I need a drink. I'm about dried up. Okay, so I hope you watched my last video. What a great savings that was. Chobani yogurt for 80 cents for a 4-pack. And everybody in this household is going to eat yogurt for quite a while. Matter of fact, I'm going to go pass some out to all my girls here in a little bit. I'm going to put a couple cups in the big coop, and then each of the single ones, they're all going to get theirs. And my chicken that got into the situation yesterday, she looks good. She had a little nest made right next to the heater, and when I walked in, I made mashed potatoes last night because I was just craving mashed potatoes. I'm not eating right. Something's not right again. So I'm going to probably have to go to milk and V8 juice as my major nutrition right now. I'm having a hard time eating. I don't have an appetite. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, last night I made mashed potatoes, and so when I drained it off, I had that hot water, and so I made some oatmeal. Well, I had baked those chicken leg quarters yesterday. I've got them put away, and I took all the grease out of that, and I poured that into the oatmeal once everything was set. So here is this oatmeal, and it's got chicken fat in it and grease, and that's what I fed the girls on their treat this morning, and they absolutely loved it. Okay, what are we really going to talk about right now? Well, I'm going to tell you something that might make you mad. It might not, but I'm not going to lie to you. I am not going to lie to you. I let this one sit on the stove for a while because I wanted you to be of understanding that I used to work in the long-term care facility system. I, at the end, was a social service director. Okay. I am a social service designee for the state of Indiana. I can be the social service director of 100 and below bed facility. Okay. So while I was the social service director in that position, when the Veterans Choice Act was signed, this allowed me to have my veteran residents go to closer doctors, closer hospitals. It gave them free transportation. Um, when that when that act was passed, um, all of that information came to me at my desk, which allowed me, like I said, to do more for my veterans. Okay. Now, Trump claimed that he did it during his presidency. And I knew that was wrong because I remember when it was passed. It was passed in 2014 by President Obama. Okay. I didn't have to fact check, but I did. And a lot of the news medias did, and a lot of the other things that I watch did. But I went back to make certain because I was like, I remember when that was passed. I remember very little of certain things, but this thing I specifically remembered because I worked in the system, and it allowed me to give my veterans more services, better services. It could allow me to work with my veterans if they were able to help. We would sit at my desk and decide, well, we don't want to go to Kentucky, but we can go here in Indiana, or we can go right over there in Cincinnati. And then once we decided what we were doing, and if they had a family member, they would come in, we would care plan it, and I would talk with them, and we would make decisions that was allowed by this act that was passed in 2014. Why do you want someone who is going to lie to you? I'm not going to lie to you. Facts are not lies. But that man stood on that stage and lied about the Veterans Act. Why would you want someone who is going to lie to you? You know why? Because he wants your vote. He wants the veterans' vote. Do you know how much he cares about our veterans? He cut programs for our veterans. He wanted to cut the pay for our veterans. That's a truth. He doesn't give one mouse butt about the veterans. Well, if they vote for him, he does, but he doesn't care about their care, how much they're bringing home, how much they have suffered or suffering. He don't care. Are you kidding me? That made me mad, because I'm going to tell you something. When you work in long-term care and you see these people and they're at they're in the end. They're in the end of their times. Some of them are younger than others. Some of them might have different health issues. But our veterans were there. And this act allowed me to provide better services for them. Why does he think he needs to say that he did that? Why? He didn't. It was in 2014. And that's why when I heard that speech, I was like, no. And then everyone else fact checked it. Well, then I went back and fact checked myself, because I wanted to make certain that that was the same act that came across my desk and allowed me to do more for my veterans as their social service director. Come on, folks. You've got to understand this man is a liar. You've got to understand that he's taking credit for stuff that he did not do. Do you realize the border problem could have been solved when the bipartisan bill was set up? Why? Because he said don't do it. Mike Johnson and the rest of his cronies in Congress, they want to tell you how much the border is a crisis, but they don't want to fix it. He doesn't want it fixed because he wants to run on it. He's going to tell you how bad the economy is. He's never even been to a grocery store. He said you had to have an ID to buy bread. He doesn't know what you're spending at the grocery store. He has no clue. He was specifically asked a question and completely talked about something else when it came to inflation and things like that. He doesn't know. You know why he doesn't know? Because he doesn't grocery shop. He is not one of us. And he wants to take credit for something that happened before him. Y'all, whoo, that burns me up. Because our veterans deserve more than someone lying about who's actually taking care of them. And when he has his cronies in Congress ready to shut down, who do you think's going to suffer? The veterans are going to suffer because they're not going to get their pay. If they had doctor's appointments, they may have to cancel those because it's all going to be on stop. I don't know for sure. But he doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. He does not care. And he's lying to you if you let him. If you fact check him, you will find how many lies this man has actually told you. He does not care. I was going to talk about the puppy auction down at Mar-a-Lago, but I think I'm going to hold off on that one because actually I want to make that more comedic. So just remember, Trump does not care for the veterans. He's trying to take credit of something that happened before him, and he has cut programs, or tried to, or not do what he should to make the veterans whole financially and healthcare wise. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance.